Hey grade 6s, we've been dealing with 2D shapes and how to identify them, but how do you construct them? Well, you have to use the tools. You have to use the protractor that we've been using, the rulers that we've been using, a compass that we've been using, and you put those together and you can construct either triangles or different quadrilaterals based on the instructions that we're given. So we're going to start off with a triangle. And you can see I've got my tools here. I'm ready to go. And I've got my question to make a triangle. Construct triangle VWX so that VW equals 10 centimeters, WX equals 6, and VX equals 8 centimeters, and then label the interior angles. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a baseline, and you can see I've already got the baseline here that's 10 centimeters long, so that's pretty good. And now the next thing I want to do is I want to make the WX, well, I have to label this, so let's label this V and label this one W, okay? And then we want to make WX to be 6 centimeters. So I'll get my compass over here. I have to turn it a bit so I can measure. And I put the point on the 0, and then the other point I actually grab and I move over to the 6. So we'll take it to the 6 here. Just move it down to make sure I'm accurate. There we go. And now I put the point on there. I flip my compass around. And then what I do is I rotate it up here a bit. And I make an arch that's going to be intersected with the line on this side. So I'm done with my compass there. So that's my WX to be 6 centimeters. Now I want to make my VX to be 8 centimeters. So in order to do that, I have to take my compass again. Let's flip it around and rotate it up here so I can get to the 8 centimeter mark. Oops. Take it to 8 centimeters. There we go. And I'll move it up to the point here and rotate it up. So I'm just making a line that crosses, that intersects the other line here. And now I'm done with my compass. Now what you would do is take your straight edge and you would connect that to the W, you connect it to the V, but because I'm using smart software, I can just click it and it appears, and now we want to label that as our X point. So here we go, we've got our triangle, it's VWX, so that VW is equal to 10 centimeters, that's our bottom, WX is equal to 6 centimeters, and VX is equal to 8 centimeters. And now it tells us to label the interior angles. And whenever I get a closed object, I'm always curious as to what the interior angles in here would measure out to and actually add up to. So we have to take our protractor to do that. And we line up the vertex of our protractor on the vertex of the angle V. I'm going to make this a little bigger so I can see exactly what it ends up to be. And just a bit more here. Okay, good. So we end up getting, I think that was 37 degrees. Then we move on to our next angle. So I'll set the vertex on there, make sure my baseline, this is the 0 on the baseline. So I measure up, I'm going to have to make it a little smaller so I can see what it goes to. And that looks like 52 degrees right on there. So I record that in the section there. Then I take my protractor, I line up my vertex, and I have to rotate it so that I can get on the baseline here. There we go. And now it's the inside angle that I'm dealing with. And that looks like, a little bigger. Yep, 91 degrees. So I record the 91 in there. And as I said, I like to add these up just to check to see what they add up to, because I'm always curious as to the interior angles of a different object. 91 plus 52 plus 37 gives you 180 degrees. So that is our interior angles of the triangle. Well, let's talk about something else, because often we're asked to figure out what a quadrilateral, or how to draw a quadrilateral. So we start here, construct trapezoid. Okay, we've got to remember that that's the shape. A, B, C, D, so obviously the four-sided figure, where sides AB equals 10 centimeters, BC and DA equal 5 centimeters, and then angle ABC and CDA equal 115 centimeters. So I have to start here with my 10 centimeter line. You can see I've got that already done. And then I label these as to my parts, or my vertices A and B. And now I look at, okay, angle ABC. It's got to be 115 degrees, but does that go on this side or does it go on this side? Well, if you said B side, you're right, because remember the B is in the middle, so that's the one that we have to use. So we line up our vertex here. I'm going to make my protractor a little bigger. I've got my baseline, so there's my 0. It's on the outside, and so I use that chart to line up there. And then I have to use get my pen ready here. And I'm going to put a mark right at 115, so that goes there. And then you'll use a straight edge and actually draw the line up to equal that 115. But in my case, as I said, because I've used smart software, I can just get rid of that. And I've got my line all set up to 115 there. And now it's supposed to be 5 centimeters long. So I line up my 0 line there and making sure, yep, it's right on 5, so that's good. Now what I have to do is I can label this. This is my point C, and just draw a line out from there. And then I'm going to take my protractor. There's my C. Let's flip it around here. And the last thing I have to do with this first part is I have to make CDA to be 115 degrees. So I want to set my protractor on this baseline, and I want to find out exactly where it's going to intersect the 115. So there's 115 right there. And I want to move my protractor along this line to find out where it's going to intersect 115. Oops. Well, look at that. I made it exactly the right length. Well, sometimes you're not so lucky. But then all you do is you take your ruler and you connect those two. You draw your line. And there would be our point D. So now we've got our trapezoid, ABCD. We've got the angle confirmed here. This angle is at about 63 degrees. This angle over here is at the 115 that we need it. And now if we had to, it says what is the distance, or what is the length of CD? So I want to put my ruler up here. Set it on the 0, and drop it down, and it looks like it is 10.2 centimeters long. And there we go. We've answered our question. And hopefully that helps you in using our tools to construct not only quadrilaterals, but triangles as well. Enjoy.